Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for July 1st. For my fellow Canadians, happy Canada Day. I hope if you're Canadian, wherever you are, you're having wonderful weather, you're celebrating, keeping good social distancing, and are just enjoying the day. To everybody else, hello. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. It's wonderful. I thank you so much. And thank you, of course, to my existing subscribers. The likes, the comments, the shares, they're just wonderful. So thank you so much. I appreciate the incredible support that the Soulprint viewers afford me. So I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you for that. Okay, so I want to take a look at a couple of things today. So I'm hoping that I can sort of do a couple of shorter readings about the craziness that's going on in the world. So the first thing I want to look at is William Barr and Michael Flynn. What do we think the story is there? Well, let's take a look and find out. Come on down. Okay. Michael Flynn and William Barr. Let's see what is going on there. Barr and Flynn, Barr and Flynn, Barr and Flynn. Okay. Well, unfortunately, Lady Justice seems to have, in some cases, just determined that enough is enough. As far as William Barr goes, the road ahead for him in the certainly immediate future, and by immediate, I'm talking, from now to 18 months from now, it doesn't look so good for him. More and more people are turning against him, more prosecutors, more government officials even are thinking that he has just gone to such extreme measures. And again, more information is going to continue to come out about some of the stuff that Barr himself has been involved with, or has ignored, or worse, has green-lighted or has interfered. And there's going to be more of that, more whistleblowers, more stuff coming out. And so Barr is really going to increasingly find that as he has honored not only Trump's illusions, but his own. Make no mistake, this man is so ego-driven, it's quite remarkable. And so Barr really believes that presidents should have this authority, and by extensions, that Department of Justices should behave exactly the way his is behaving. Like, that's what you need to understand. It's not like he's doing this against his will or against his moral fiber. He's not. He's doing exactly what he thinks should be done. This is how a president should be deferred to. This is how a Justice Department should be helpful to the president. This is how you go after the president's enemies, because he's the president. You should do that for him. This is how you protect the president's friends. This is what you do. So he's going to have a lot of issues. I would not be at all surprised if he's not stripped of his license by the Bar Association. He is going to be shunned even by Republicans. The only Republicans who are going to think he's fab are the ones who are really, really right-wing, and honestly, at this point, have gotten to a place where they don't give. They don't. Sorry, I'm sorry. The thought just flew right out of my head. So let me just try to refocus here. Okay, so Barr going forward is just, things are not going to be peaceful. They are not going to be smooth sailing for him. He is going to have a lot to answer to, and frankly, he doesn't have a lot of answers. Speaking of which, there's supposed to be that hearing with him at the end of July. I don't think anybody should get excited about that happening until, a couple of days before, because he has a way of saying, yeah, I'll be there, and then he picks a really far away date, and then the far away date comes and he's like, oh, I can't be there, I don't want to be there, I'll come but I won't talk to you, be there. So, he's going to continue to run out the clock. Okay, that's his game, that's the strategy. And so if the Democrats think that he's just going to willingly come in and spill their goods, they're nuts, because he's not. He's going to continue to play them. Now, as far as Flynn goes, that ruling that came down from that 3-judge panel, I'm not feeling as if that's actually going to sit well. I am recording this a couple of days ahead of Canada Day, because, Canada Day, national holiday like that. Oh, hey, Jerry. Hey, buddy. So my information might be a little bit, time lapsed, but I don't think that that's going to go down well. There's going to be some pushback on that by Judge Watson, I think his name is. He's going to continue to push. So we're going to see, but this is the thing, okay? Dismissing a charge is not the same thing as being exonerated, like a pardon would do. Okay. Again, if Trump pardons Flynn, that puts a situation into play where Flynn then has no protection against spilling the beans. So this is another one of those run out the clock strategies. But I don't think that in the end, Flynn is going to get off quite as easily as I think they're hoping. I mean, right now, his defense attorneys are tap dancing, and dancing, because they think that they're winning on this. I'm just not so sure that they're actually going to ultimately win. And if ultimately means that this snaps back on him like an elastic band in January or February or March, so it does, right? But a lot of what is going on now is not going to be able to be excused, because leaving it would leave such a horrendous precedent that not a good plan. So I don't see Flynn getting away with a whole heck of a lot long term. I don't see Barr getting away with a lot long term. In the immediate future, you can expect some more of these tactics to go on back and forth, this sort of charging ahead. This is what we're going to do. It doesn't matter if it's stupid or foolish. We're going to say it. That's going to be Barr's little game. So it feels as if, for right now, what you're basically being told when it comes to those two is, you know what? If not now, soon enough. That's sort of the message, literally. If not now, soon enough. They're not going to just blatantly get away with all of this. It's just going to take a wee little bit of time. And that's okay. Because ultimately, it's about doing what's right and necessary. And that's going to happen So, ultimately, is Barr going to be disbarred? Oh, I bet he is. Is Barr going to suffer some real ill health physically because of some of his actions? I believe he will. And that's, I'm just saying, like, the stress at some point, man, it's gonna get to him. Because let's face it, people who are that egocentric, they don't like it when public opinion is against them, right? They don't like it when they're having to sort of explain themselves or justify actions, etc. All right. I want to take a quick look at the whole Putin, Afghan, Trump situation. Here we go. Putin, Afghan, Americans. Putin, Afghan, Americans. Putin, Afghan, Americans. So I'm sure you've all heard, basically, the intelligence community is saying that to a high degree of certainty, they know that Putin was approaching the militia, the militias in Afghanistan, and basically paying bounty on the heads of Americans. So, go out and kill an American, and American soldiers, and I will, give you some nice red rubles for that. So apparently that has been going on. Apparently, Trump was told about that in March. It is July. Nothing, did nothing, said nothing, doesn't want to deal with nothing. And Russia can't be doing anything wrong, can they? By offing your own soldiers? Oh my Lord. Here we go. Okay. Brace yourselves. More's going to come out. More's going to continue to come out. Secrets are going to be told. Sorry about that. Okay, so lots more secrets are going to be coming out in the next little while pertaining to communications between Putin and Trump. There's going to be more information coming out about Russian behavior. There's going to be judgments that are going to be harsh, and they're going to be passed fairly swiftly. So in some ways, this just becomes that sort of that flood of information. This is just the other, more and more straws that are going to break the camel back of Trump. Okay, it's just like this truly just is going to continue to spiral. June is going to spiral into July, and that which was unbelievably insane in June could very potentially look very calm in July in terms of information coming out, in terms of judgments being passed, in terms of people abandoning him and saving themselves. Okay? As far as people who are opposed to Trump seeing exponential growth in their numbers and what they're looking to gain and accomplish. So he did it. He has no intentions of doing or saying anything about it because on a fundamental level, he just does not care. And so what you have is big troubles, right? He doesn't care. People are going to pass judgment on him. He's going to be more of the same, but he knew about it. He didn't really care if they were doing it or not doing it because, again, his aim is to do whatever Putin wants him to do. And so Trump gets told something, and he doesn't believe it, and he goes to Putin, and Putin says, of course I didn't do that. And then Trump says, well, obviously my intel agents are foolish and they don't know anything, and they like to lie. And so that's the dynamic here. Now, is there going to be sort of a continued backlash to this? Yeah, I'm afraid there is, and that's a good thing, because you know what? You can't have that nonsense going unchallenged, okay? So you can anticipate, but what I'm saying is, if that was bad enough, but what I'm saying is, in the next while, you're going to get more and more instances of secrets coming out that are going to create an environment of harsh judgment, and it's going to happen fairly quickly. The stuff that he has done in the past is not going to work for him. It is now not working for him. You're going to see that become amplified. He's going to try to distract. He's going to do Trump stuff, right? But as far as this situation goes, he knew about it. He condoned it with silence and inaction. And there's going to be, don't be surprised, there's going to be investigations about that probably. People are going to be wanting to talk about what the heck he did, what he was trying to get away with. And you're going to see, again, more evidence piling up against Trump. And that's, frankly, that's what you want, right? I mean, you do. You want Trump to kind of eviscerated, okay? You want him destroyed. You don't want him to have a voice left in America. You don't want him to have to be able to continue to communicate and garner an audience, right? You want him to lose as much as he can going forward. And clearly, the chickens are coming home to roost for him. Next, I think I would like to take, maybe let's take a look at what's going on in the White House, like with Jared and Ivanka, and what is going on with the people who are tasked with trying to keep Trump tethered to reality. Okay, just between you and me, I'm thinking they're not doing a great job. They're really not. But, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at what is going on behind the scenes of both the administration and and the campaign to re-elect Trump. Let's just take a look. So we're going to ask the question of Trump elect admin, Trump elect admin, Trump elect admin. So the committee to elect him, the administration, and Trump. What is going on there? Okay. They're going to continue to move ahead. They've got the chariot showing up here, and we're going to take that as like that forward movement. So this is what's going on. They kind of continue to move forward almost in a state of denial about how bad things are. Now, it's not that they're all foolish and they can't read numbers or they don't understand polls. It's that in some ways they walk this very bizarre fence line where on the one hand you have reality, and frankly reality is not looking very good for Trump and for some of their own jobs, for some of their own positions of power and importance. And then you have the other side of the fence, which is try not to give Trump any bad news so he doesn't become even more radically and dramatically unhinged. So, yeah. So they're going to continue to kind of, it's almost like a funny looking like duck walk that they walk, right? Because they sort of have to straddle both sides of um, the situation, the real one and the fantasy one. And they have to continue to weave them sort of together to keep him moving ahead. A lot of them are now starting to wake up to the fact that June, the months before June with the pandemic, the month of June with the whole Black Lives Matter and the upside down Bible and slow the testing down, please, and the coronavirus outbreaks. Those around him are starting to actually recognize that this presidency is dying. It is over. It's not going to be resurrected. They get that. A lot of them get it. Will they admit it? Even if started to remove their toenails? No, they would not. But they understand privately that this is not good. The optics are terrible. And they continue to try to, do what they do. And the behavior is going to continue to adapt and change a little bit as there is increased public pressure or increased public disapproval. And the reason it's going to shift and change both from the administration and from the re-election campaign is because they are both in a position of defense. Okay. Everything is coming at them so quickly, and they are stumbling backwards, trying to hang on to whatever victories they had. They're trying to do whatever they can to keep people in the fold, but they're jumping ship like crazy. You have people sort of not directly connected to either of those who are pushing back, like advertisers against certain media companies because they don't like, they feel they're not being taken a strong enough stance against Trump and the hate rhetoric. So it's just this energy of they're going to keep pushing, even though where they're pushing and how they're trying to get there is not reality. They're recognizing that this really is sort of the beginning of the end. They can't find a balance. Okay, they cannot find a way to present. They can't find a way to communicate their messages. What you have are, this is what happens if you're going to spend all that time talking out of both sides of your mouth, right? Like apparently Pence recently over the weekend, I guess, canceled a couple of events that they had planned because, of course, every time they have one of those, they get really hit upside the head with the how come you're not practicing social distancing? How come nobody has masks on? And don't tell us it's about free speech and the right to assemble. You're putting those needs and your specific needs over the health of the country. So they're getting a lot of pushback, and they just are going to continue to get pushback. And the more they continue to get pushback, the more defensive they are because they're getting pushed closer and closer against that wall. And more people are saying, I've had it with you, enough is enough. And frankly, it's bad enough that not only with the behavior is Trump like destroying the Republican Party, destroying his re-election chances, but mostly what he is doing is they are giving the right so much ammunition, center right, so much ammunition, right? And so their fortunes continue to grow and amplify. The polls are telling us, leaked information is telling us what's going on behind the scenes, and it's not a good look. And because it is strengthening the independent and the Democrats' push to correct and rebalance what is the government? You know, this is the thing. It feels very much as if it almost doesn't matter anymore what is offered to Trump. He just rejects it. He won't listen to pretty much anything. He wants what he wants, and he's completely fixated at getting it. Um, so he's not listening, and people are banging their heads up against the wall, and he's not listening. And he's stuck in his own place where he's the strong guy, he's the victor, he's the emperor, he's the guy. And it doesn't seem to matter what they say or do or how they present information to him. He gets it, but he doesn't, he's not taking it in. He's not feeling like he needs to correct anything. They, the minions around him, they need to correct stuff. And he, of course, is not going to see, because he has never seen and no one ever made him see, the fact that he is the root of the problem. No one's going to tell him. And if you haven't been told that you've been a problem for 73 whole years, or 74, however old that guy is, well, you're certainly not going to believe it now when you are being told that you are the most powerful person in the world. What's going on behind the scenes is exactly what you would expect to go on behind the screens. You know, a lot of stuff not rooted in reality, a lot of tempers flying, a lot of things being said that can't be taken back, a lot of like just hurt and bullying and abusive behavior. There is, you know, furniture that's getting kicked, there's stuff that's getting thrown, because again, he doesn't have any basic respect for the meaning of the White House, the contents of the White House. They don't matter to him. And in fact, he doesn't view them, you know, he views them as his possessions because he is the president, so they are all his. And so if he feels like if he wants to throw something that is his, he can. There's going to be a damage list that comes out at some point of all of the damage caused in the White House, and it is going to be, I think, just this side of horrifying. And again, it's just one more thing that you're not going to see resolution on now. You're going to see resolution as things continue to turn against him, and when finally he is out of office, and all of those guardrails, all of those walls that he put up in terms of secretary of this and secretary of that is going to vanish. And that's when there's going to be real insight in terms of what went on and what needs to be fixed and corrected. And so it will be. I mean, that's just it, right? And so it will be. There's going to be, you're going to survive this. You're going to come through it as a people. But the administration and the re-election campaign and the RNC are all going to suffer significant loss as people make their decisions, and they're no longer believing the promise. They're no longer believing the fantasy. They want things to return to anything that resembles normal, even a new normal. They can't juggle it fast enough. They just simply cannot juggle it fast enough. And so it's going to continue to crumble. It's just going to crumble. And you're going to see people stepping away. You're going to see fighting. And you're going to see, frankly, honestly, what most of us really don't want to see. It's not worth seeing the nonsense that goes on behind the scenes. Imagining it, frankly, is horrible enough. All right. Thank you so much for being here. And again, thank you for all of your support. It is incredible. If you're looking for a private reading, in the box below is an email address. You can send me a little email and I will send you the information you need to know. Okay, until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.